So I've had my Z Fold 4 for almost a year now, and it's really held up. Much better than I actually thought it was. But this video is not about how the Z Fold 4 has held up durability wise or how it's continued to perform. I'll have another video talking about the Z Fold 4 1 year later. But instead in this video, I'm going to talk about why, if you're looking for a foldable today, I think the Z Fold 4 is the best value you can find. So first of all, let's talk about price. Brand new pre-Z Fold 5, regular price for the Z Fold 4 was $1,800. Same price as the Z Fold 5 today. And I'll be the first one to tell you, it's expensive. But foldables are expensive. If you want the convenience of folding your phone, you're gonna pay a premium for it. And that's just where we're at in 2023. But that's what makes the Z Fold 4 right now so compelling. Because you can find the Z Fold 4 in excellent condition for less than half the regular price when it was new, or half the regular price of the Z Fold 5. Now, how good is a possibly 1-year-old Z Fold 4? Well, I've had mine for about that long and it's still working great. Folding display is holding up, processor is still quick, and battery life is still about the same. I have noticed a decrease, but that's normal for a year-old phone. Now, comparing it to the new Z Fold 5, there isn't much different here. So let's talk about the major differences between the Z Fold 4 and the Z Fold 5, and let's see why getting the Z Fold 4 might be a better option for some of you instead of going for the Z Fold 5. So the first major difference, at least in my opinion, when you look at the Z Fold 4 and the Z Fold 5, is the hinge. Samsung introduced a new hinge technology, and really the main benefit is that it allows your phone to completely fold over and there's no gap in between the displays when shut. Now that has a couple of advantages. First of all, it prevents anything from going in between that gap and damaging that internal display. Now, in fairness, I haven't had any issues with my Z Fold 4 with anything going into that gap and damaging the internal display, but I guess because there is a gap, that could eventually happen if you're not careful. And the second advantage is that it just makes the phone thinner overall because there's no gap making that phone thicker when closed. Now that's something I definitely would consider a benefit because that just means it's easier to pocket the Z Fold 5 and take with you. Now the Z Fold 4 isn't impossible to take with you, but I will say that the thickness can be a little annoying at times. Nothing that would prevent me from buying this phone or recommending it, but it's just something to consider. If you can make it thinner, it's gonna only make the whole experience so much better. Now the second major difference between the Z Fold 4 and the Z Fold 5, if you could even call it major, is the processor. You have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor on the Z Fold 5, and it's the best processor from Qualcomm, at least available now. And the Z Fold 4 has the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 processor inside. Now, that isn't a slouch either. It's still a very capable processor. But of course, newer processor just means better performance, at least most of the time. But I don't think day-to-day use you're really going to notice much of a difference between the Z Fold 4's processor and the Z Fold 5. Both of these phones are going to handle basic tasks and do most of what you want to do on a smartphone quickly. In fact, I recorded and edited a whole video using my Z Fold 4 and it performed great. I'll leave a link to that video in the description below, and also I'll link it here on the top right. The processor performed great when I wanted to edit a video and really do everything on my Z Fold 4 to put out that video for YouTube. The point is, both of these phones have capable processors. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 will be better, but you may not even notice much of a difference when using these phones. And really, those are the major differences, if you can call them major, between the Z Fold 5 and the Z Fold 4. There's some smaller things as well, but those are really the big things, the big changes that came from this generation. Design is pretty much exactly the same, with the Z Fold 5 being slightly thinner. Battery capacity is the same, but I do expect the Z Fold 5 with the newer processor to be more power efficient, but you got the same cameras, the same displays, both have the same cool features like DeX. So the question is, should you go with a new Z Fold 5 for $1,800 or a year old in really good condition Z Fold 4 for less than half? Now I know you might be able to get some great trade-in deals or even carrier deals that require you to pay for service with them for 2 years. But that's where it gets difficult, because an unlocked used Z Fold 4 that you can use with any carrier, and you don't have to trade in another phone. Instead, you could probably take that phone, possibly sell it and keep that money for less than $900, or a new Z Fold 5 for $1,800. For me, I think because the Fold line really didn't change all that much, the best foldable for the money right now is the Z Fold 4. You're getting most of what the Z Fold 5 has to offer, which is a great phone, by the way, but just not having to spend a fortune for it. In fact, I would say if you're still not sure about foldables, if you're on the fence because of how expensive they are and you just don't know how durable they actually will be, the Z Fold 4 might be the best choice for you, because you're getting most of what makes the Z Fold 5 great, and you just don't have to spend all that money that comes with the Z Fold 5. And really, that's what makes, in my opinion, the Z Fold 4 the best foldable you can buy right now. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with me that the Z Fold 4 might be the best folding phone you can buy right now? Let me know with a comment down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos just like this one, if you don't want to miss my Z Fold 4 re-review 1 year later, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my new videos, and I'll see you on the next one.